Hello everyone, it's Ollie on board Too Good on day 41 of the Vendeeglobe. I had so far quite a busy day. It's kind of the first day where the wind is dropping a little bit. So it's the last day really where I see 30 knots and then it starts to drop. But as it is, last night I managed to snap one of my battens. They're big carbon things that are in my mainsail, and I managed to snap the top batten, meaning early morning today, about midnight UTC, I had to drop my mainsail, and I've got 2 spare battens with me, and I had to remove the old one, cut the new one to the right length, and change the batten. This in itself is not a difficult job at all, but I'm still in about 5.5 meter swell, so it was quite, the boat was rolling around quite a lot, and together with the cold and still about 25 knots of wind, it wasn't that easy, so it took me quite a while to do, but that's all sorted. We're back on track again, and then as I wanted to pull the mainsail up, it's Murphy's Law. My Cunningham line snapped. This line is called the Cunningham, and it kind of gives the front part of the sail vertical tension. Now I do have 2 of them in place in parallel, so I managed to just swap over to the other one, but this has to go onto the job list. Good thing is, as I said, the wind is now kind of dropping, so for the next week we should really see more than 30 knots, which is nice. I think average wind speed is somewhere in the low 20s, and the waves will go down, so it will give me plenty of opportunity to fix these minor little bits on the boat. I'm sorry I didn't film the whole batten replacement, but I did try to do it, but I just didn't have a hand free, and I just had to get on with the job, so I do apologize. Everyone have a good day. I'll talk to you again soon. Cheers. Bye bye.
Hello Seawolves, and welcome back to the show. Really nice intro there with Ollie on board of Too Good, sailing along kind of nicely. A few small breakages here, but that's nothing unexpected. And I think it was kind of a nice metaphor for the day. Clarice fixed her mainsail hook. Lots of people just sailing along kind of nicely, making good speed. So a good day for racing overall. We'll get into it in a second. But first, of course, I hope that you are ready with something delicious in your possibly official Seawolf mug. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Cheers, Wolves.
Comme vous pouvez le voir, il n'y a pas de vent. Et qui dit pas de vent, dit bricolage. Après cette mauvaise image qui n'en était pas, vous avez réussi à la gérer. Allez bon. Et voilà.
Yeah, so Clarice obviously very happy that she has seemingly the full use of her mainsail again. So that's very nice to see. Another kind of cool bit of info was an interview that Joon did earlier today, talking really about the design of his boat, if there's anything he would change. And some of you asked me the question in the earlier Q&A, like if I thought that the IMOCA was kind of like a bad design, or kind of like almost like a political compromise of like different things and different classes, not quite a foiling boat, not quite a monohull, etc. And I mentioned that I think that generally the IMOCAs are kind of actually a really optimal design for what it's supposed to do. And Joon made some very interesting comments on that also today. Take a look.
Definitely approach battle with Charlie. I can see him, I can see his flashlight right there. He's 1.2 miles ahead of me basically. And it's a tight sprint to the north of the ice zone. Well, I don't know. I don't mind being the hunter for a bit. I think my time to shine will be on the downwind probably after this northern tip of the ice zone. But I'm already happy to be on par with Charlie in these conditions, because when we started reaching, he took off really fast. So I'm glad I found the right setting to get the boat going and to be on pace with him. So if I can match him before going downwind, then I'll probably be a happy man.
You're always a happy man. In fact, you're making it all look easy. Are you enjoying your Southern Ocean experience?
Well, I am. I think, well, you can tell me, but what do you think of a Southern Ocean with only 2 low pressures? The whole, the whole of it. It's not much, huh?
Yeah, no, you guys have been super lucky. But
So,
tell me, you must have been making a list of modifications
we got
you
it
want to do on your boat.
Well, I actually had a meeting with with some of my staff to talk about the future of the boat and what we would change and stuff like that. So we're already thinking about it. But it's I really enjoy it. I have to say that probably I enjoy 99% of the boat, and of course there's that little 1% that I would change. But I think we've got a really good, example of a well-designed boat, and I don't think there's much I would change actually, except completely change the design and go for something totally different. But I think we've nailed it.
Well, that's good. And it looks like you might have a good Christmas present of Cape Horn looking ahead.
Yeah, I think that's incredible. When I was working, I made like a road book of all the times of Armel, François, Valdez, and Yannick Bestaven. And I was looking at it, I was like, okay, so if we're on record pace or just before it, we'll be at the Horn. That was fast. 37 knots. We'll be at the Horn for Christmas, and I was like, wow, that would be so cool, you know. And I like the idea of it because we'll be in the Atlantic by the end of December. That means we can aim for quite an early arrival, and that's something I enjoy.
So that's interesting, right? Like he's sailing, I think, from my mind, one of the best boats in the fleet as far as design. Also, I talked about this extensively before. I've showed it in the first episode. I think it's a very good design with the forward-facing vision and just overall the layout of the cockpit, the integration of the chair and the dampening also that he has. Just one of the more comfortable rides, though, comfort is a big word in this particular case. But he looks well rested, the boat seems to be doing very well, and there are a lot of small details also, like his furlers up front are hidden below the deck. There's more or less almost no water ingress in the rest of the boat. It's fairly dry. So yeah, there are a lot of small details that I think are very well designed, and it's kind of cool also to hear him say that and kind of confirming that, yeah, we're like, unless you wanted to redesign the whole thing, so unless you wanted to go with a completely different design concept, maybe there would be different things. But him saying that he basically likes 99% of the boat, and there's always this 1-2 small things. I think that also, in large part confirms, the fact that I think they're heading in a very, very good direction, and that his ship is overall functioning very, very well. And he looks like it. Also what the questioner, the interviewer there, I forget her name just for a second here, but what she's asking is yeah, you look well rested, you look like you're enjoying your time in the Southern Ocean, and I think that's largely also a factor of just the boat seems well designed, seems to function well. That doesn't take away that he's still going to be having a tough time as well, but relatively speaking, the fresher your mind, that is also a major aspect in this race. So that's cool to see that it's really working. Nice update in the night also by Boris. Check it out.
You don't want to be on deck, no? The water is 6 degrees or less. And it's a bit damp as well. Really dark, you don't see anything. Good thing we have autopilots. And nice comfortable cockpits. So, stand like this maybe. A good day. What happened today? We went from the jib top to the bigger J0. And I found a problem on the furler, so I changed the furler. The tack line is attached to the furler and the furling line, so that's a little bit of work to get all that sorted. And took me a few miles and time and energy, but all good. It was a good day all in all. We are nicely matching with the others, and it's fun going east. Only a week to Cape Horn. It's crazy. So every day is precious now. It's the last 7 days in the Southern Ocean. I mean, after the Horn we still might have a bit of Southern Ocean depending on the route, but I've seen some routes now going through the Le Maire Strait, passing close of Cape Horn, which makes me very happy. I would love to see the rock. And even some of them went west of the Falklands, which I also would love to do. I haven't done it in a while, the last time 2009. And yeah, now we are just driving back and forth along the wind gradient. It gets a bit hectic going south. It's even a bit hectic here. I don't know, sticks the nose in a bit, I don't know, can't see the waves, but so we're doing a zigzag along here.
So him talking about kind of the same feeling, you know, sailing along nicely, making good speeds. The worst of the weather seems over for now. They're just in nice strong winds, but nothing like too crazy or critical. He went to use some bigger sails, found some small damage, fixed that, and many of them are talking now about the opportunity that seems to be developing. Again, these are predictions that are still like a week away, so it's hard to say anything definitively, but it looks like at least the general tenure of the weather that they're going to have a fairly, well, it's never really mild at Cape Horn, but as far as Cape Horn scenarios goes, looks like they're going to be getting a fairly, you know, middle of the road, let's say Cape Horn passing with wind speed somewhere between like 15 and 20 knots, which means wave states probably not too crazy, too big, because it can go really, you know, crazy balls there. But looks like pretty nice, which will, as Boris also mentioned, which will allow them maybe to get pretty close to kind of the famous, you know, the rock that you always sort of see of Cape Horn, which is like the famous kind of end of the world area, which we saw also in the last race. They passed by some of them pretty close to there. Also had like fairly nice weather. There was a big storm heading like close to Cape Horn, but the actual Cape Horn crossing was pretty good last time.
des conditions pareilles, j'ai entre 35 et 45 nœuds, mais avec de la bonne mer et c'est pas du 45 nœuds de vent chaud quoi, c'est du 45 nœuds bien trempé. J'ai fini là par, je sais pas si c'est une bonne idée ou pas, je teste et j'ai roulé la voile d'avant. Parce que dans les surfs, je me faisais trop peur, je faisais des surfs à 30 nœuds. Et c'était un peu stressant, du coup là je teste avec juste 3 rides dans la grande voile. Et je fais encore les surfs à 22 nœuds là, donc bon. Je fais pas la maline, j'avoue là je fais pas le taf du tout. Mais bon, c'est dans le grain qu'on reconnaît le marin il paraît. Voilà, j'apprends là, c'est apprentissage en temps réel, je la joue hyper safe mais j'ai vraiment pas envie de casser mon bateau. Il y a une ambiance de fin du monde ici. Il fait tout gris. Il y a de la mer, elle commence à être de plus en plus formée. Du vent fort. 7, 8, 9. Et qui va faire que forcir dans la nuit. Ça va être ça le passage du Cap Horn.
Dans les puffs, on est à sécos de toile. Bon voilà, derrière moi là, un petit bout de terre avec un phare, ça s'appelle le Cap Horn. C'est incroyable, c'est hallucinant, putain, de voir aussi près comme ça, waouh. Quelle émotion, c'est magnifique. En arriver là, c'est splendide. Grand moment. Ah ouais, c'est quand même quelque chose. Moi je vous laisse apprécier. Merci à tous.
So yeah, it looks like we might get pretty close to the rock passing this time also. Nothing is sure, it's still about 7 days away, but it looks like it might happen, and of course that will be a really nice you know, kind of crown, cherry on top of the Southern Ocean crossing for all the skippers. So yeah, I definitely hope that it will happen. And also if the weather around the Cape is like fairly nice, it's one of those spots where there still sometimes historically happens a lot of like damages and things in the like very extreme weather kind of towards or right in the space there. So let's hope that we have a fairly safe passage. All in all, it looks pretty good there. Was also nice, by the way, to see Damien Saginidis. He had, of course, his mainsail issue. Now sailing along also very nicely in a day without sans merdre. So a day without problems also. Check it out.
C'est une belle matinée. Sans emmerde. Voilà. Écoute, on est dans le front. Voilà, c'est moins beau que le soleil, hein. Et le bateau va bien et je suis content. Ça glisse. Hop là. Ça mouille aussi.
Yeah, so he obviously looks a lot happier now after having fixed those problems. And that's kind of it for the updates. The Pip made also a very long update. I won't include it here in the video because it's like literally 15 minutes long, so I'll post that as a separate update. But if you haven't watched that yet, very interesting to watch because she's kind of, you know, video documenting now kind of all the different things that she's doing to kind of fix the ship. She's working on getting a bit more traction so the wind doesn't blow her too much, of course, as she's moving towards Melbourne now. By the way, so Melbourne is the destination for now. So any Melbourneian Seawolves, get ready. I expect you guys to give her a warm Seawolves welcome when she arrives there. And yeah, so that's very cool. If you haven't watched that yet, definitely watch it. I'll link it below. I'll post it after the update here today also. Yeah, so let's get to the technical analysis. Let's jump in with me here. So, in front right now, Charlie-d'Olonne, I'm not going to say firmly in the lead again, because as you can see, they're so close that I don't know like how far I have to zoom out. There's actually no scenario where I can zoom in enough, because you can like very lightly see Archaea Perpetual like hidden here underneath. Yeah, like very fun to see that they're just really super closely racing. You saw the images yesterday of them all constantly kind of filming each other as they're sailing, very head to head, very close to each other. And I think that's also the most fun. Like many of you commented also yesterday, like they sailed literally halfway around the world and they're still neck and neck right next to each other, even though Charlie was, several hundred miles ahead at some point. So it shows that these machines are just very close, and ultimately it's going to be up to a little bit Lady Luck, like Lady Fortune has something to say about it, but also it's just, what do you do? What are the choices that you make in a moment to get just that little extra which allows you to get away, and then maybe hop into just a little bit more wind ahead, etc. So yeah, pretty interesting to see how competitive it is. Boris still in 9th, but I said 32 hours or 36 hours, so he still has some hours to go, but it looks like, you guys, or at least some of you guys were right saying to me, like, I think he'll get to 8th place at some point for sure, but 36 hours is too optimistic. You were right. See, I was wrong in this particular case, because Paul Melat doing very good and actually gained a little bit distance on Boris over the night, although Boris is currently doing 22 knots while Paul is doing 19. So there is still a chance. I still got about maybe 12 or 13 hours to go. But I'm starting to agree with you guys that probably Melat will hold on to his 8th place a little bit longer before Boris might get near there. And Yannick Besthaven actually ran out a little bit also. Jeremy Bijou and Thomas Rouillant, and I think also Nicholas Lundven is somewhere underneath here, invisibly, very close to Thomas Rouillant. So him and Thomas and Nicholas having a little head-to-head battle there in similar style. Very fun to see. Like the race is just like super competitive all over, and I think that's really cool. We see a bit of a battle of the two front ladies, huh? So we have Samantha Davis and Clarice Kramer also in a head-to-head battle, struggling with each other. Of course, we have Justine Metro as the leading lady, still quite a bit ahead of them in 11th position. But again, a cool kind of head-to-head, and I think, yeah, it is very much for a place, right? The 12th and 13th are like absolutely high positions in the race, and I think if they stick together, racing each other past Cape Horn, that could be an epic. I don't remember if we had a real sort of like female head-to-head in the last race. I don't think there was any moment. Like Pip was doing some various battle there, but she was always kind of in the end of the pack for most of the race there. So I hope that they will stick with each other also. Of course, Justine is right ahead of them, so maybe if they would catch up with Justine and we can get some kind of epic, head-to-head, like three-way female battle towards the end for like 13th, 12th and 13th place, could be kind of epic. So I hope that will turn into something also before the end. See the real meanness come out, that battle spirit right before the end. That would be cool. Then of course we have Damien Seguin, like you just saw him on Group AP Seal, having a fun time. He's sailing actually really fast, like he's doing 20 knots, been doing very well over the last 24 hours. He's gained quite some miles, I think, on Roman Athanasia, who's kind of the next boat ahead of him. We see Pip, so like I said, check out the video to see what's going on board there. She She has been sailing rather steadily, and so far she's had relatively good weather, but as you can see, there's some strong stuff heading for the back of the fleet again. So in about a day and a half, she'll get some stronger winds. And essentially what she's doing is she has to get more north, because if she's staying kind of on the latitude where she is now, there's a real risk of her, because she can't really sail upwind with just that little jibbo on her jerry rig. So if she doesn't make it north enough, there's a real danger of her being kind of blown a bit more to the southwest again. And she might actually get on a course where she will kind of miss Tasmania, which would put her on a more of a course towards New Zealand. But yeah, getting north is kind of troublesome when you don't have the ability to really sail upwind. Well, we have, of course, the main group with Jean Le Cam. Isabel Joschke seems firmly in control of that group now. She ran out both on Jean and Alan Rora. Interesting to see that both Alan and Giancarlo Pudotta still haven't really found a place to overcome Jean, even though on average, every time I'm checking it, they're kind of faster than Jean, but then by the end of the day, still he manages somehow, maybe through the choice of his courses and things like that, to kind of stay more or less ahead of him. So that's kind of an interesting thing there. Then we see kind of the, kind of a spread out field, and then we have Conrad in good company with Eric Bellon and Arne Boiseris, kind of nicely going head to head there. And then behind there we see everybody out pretty spread out. Shenzhen Zhu even more south than he was yesterday, and then all the way in the end Manuel Cosin, Fabrice Amadeo, and of course Dennis van Wijnberg, who seems to have fixed his problems that he had with his electronic, with his wind sensors, and they're all doing relatively good speeds for the wind they are in. So yeah, like I said, it seems a good day for basically everybody in the fleet. There's a good point ahead. No major big lows coming up that are like of the wrecking ball variety that we had earlier. So it seems, as far as predictions, as far as everybody sailing, small unavoidable breakages here and there, but everybody dealing with the situation good. And I think overall just good vibes. Everybody sailing along strongly, looking ahead for Point Nero, for Point Nemo, which I guess for the front guys will be probably maybe somewhere by the end of tomorrow or early days that they'll get there. So pretty fast. And then it's another 4.5, maybe 5 days to the Cape. So all in all, yeah, great sailing so far. Just a great day. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the update today. Please make sure to like, subscribe. Make sure that all your friends know and are watching the Seawolves, of course, as well. And have a great next 24 hours, and see you again soon. Ciao, ciao, wolves.